So in a world where nutrition is just as controversial and debatable as politics, pretty much if you search up any ingredient on the internet, someone will say that it's bad for you, no matter what the food is. Even water, honestly, even like if you put water, is water good for you? Some guy's gonna say, nah, not really, honestly, bro. Just drink like orange juice or something. But so in this video, I'm gonna be talking about exactly what I did to like decide what foods that I included in my diet and what foods not to. The first thing you want to do, and the first thing that you should do, is make the umbrella like just whole foods, right? And then within that umbrella, then you choose specific ingredients that you want to include in your diet. Cool? And so anything that's processed, right? Unless it's something like protein powder, which, for example, even with that, you need to make sure that the protein powder doesn't have any other additives, right? Like it'll have like sunflower lecithin or like artificial sweeteners, right? And so even like the protein powder that I get, which technically is a processed or ultra processed food, right? I make sure it doesn't have additives. Mine is actually unflavored, so that there's no way it doesn't have any sweeteners, any different like coloring. And so you just want to make sure that most of it is whole, natural, single ingredient foods. And if you have any supplements or anything like that, you want to make sure there's no other additives that, are not natural, I guess. But within that, once you do start eating whole foods, then it just depends on your goal. And so someone who's gaining weight and losing weight, they just naturally eat different foods, right? And so for example, like the meats that they eat are gonna be a lot leaner when you're losing weight. The fruits that you're gonna eat are gonna be like um, foods that are like higher in volume, lower in caloric density. Same thing with, you might want to eat more vegetables, less potatoes, you know what I mean? And so that's how you want to modify it when it comes to your performance goal or your weight goal, right? And I talk a lot about this a lot more in my community and my course, which is the first link in the description if you want to check it out. But like, let's say I'm trying to lose weight right now, and so what exactly would I include in my diet? I'd probably opt for chicken breast over like chicken thighs most of the time, right? You can still get chicken thighs, like if you take the skin off and you trim some of the fat, it can still be friendly. But like a chicken breast is way more calorically friendly than chicken thighs, and it packs a lot more protein per gram. So yeah, hitting your protein goals is also a big concern when it comes to you know losing weight, because you don't have enough calories to like be able to pack all the protein in you need for the whole day. And like for example, you might want to do like I don't know, like a 90-10 beef, like a 90% lean beef compared to like an 85 or an 80% lean beef, because you can fit more beef, right? Fit more weight of like beef for the same calories. Or even like the steaks that you get is gonna be different cuts, like less fatty cuts. You know what I mean? And then, for example, like my Greek yogurt, I'll go for like 0% Greek yogurt versus like 3% when I'm trying to lose weight. Um, Even the fruits that I use, I had to like stop eating as much mango, because when I start eating mango, I eat like so much, but then they're a lot more calorically dense than like, let's say, blueberries or especially like strawberries. Uh-huh. And I started eating more vegetables. There's more cauliflower, more broccoli, more carrots, because more beans, they just pack more volume and it makes me fuller than just eating, like, for example, um a potato, which is also good. Like potatoes are, I think, are like uh, the highest in like satiety index, but it's just that they also uh, they do have considerable amount of calories, right, for the amount of volume that they have. And it was just things that you might want to consider. Like some people will even like take out their egg yolks and just cook with egg whites. It's just always something you want to consider. You still want to make sure that all the foods you're eating are, packing enough nutrients and micronutrients. You want to make sure you're getting enough of each of the vitamins, the minerals. And so, like, I wouldn't take away, like, for example, the egg yolks, right, in my eggs, because they pack choline and a lot of different micronutrients that I want to make sure I'm hitting every single day. And so it's just something that you want to play with and modify with your own diet. Like you just get a calorie tracker out and start, tracking everything. If you want to like track your calories or track your foods and also look at the micronutrient profile, then I suggest using an app, or it could be even on a web browser, but there's also an app for it. It's called Chronometer, like Crono Meter, like Meter. I'm not affiliated with it. I used it for a bit just to like see if I was like getting any micronutrient deficiencies in my diet, and it was a pretty cool measure. It's a very good estimate, I'd say, but you still want to get blood tests done regularly just to make sure everything lines up, everything is good. And then the last step I would go about like modifying what foods you're gonna eat is just depending on how you react to the foods. But the thing is, you will be reacting a lot better to these whole foods than like Oreos or like other processed food. But for example, for me, I'm a celiac, so I don't tolerate gluten as much. So anything with like wheat flour, barley, I just don't even touch. So even like sourdough bread, even though theoretically has less gluten, like I still don't feel the best when I'm on sourdough bread, and so I just don't eat it. But otherwise, I would probably eat sourdough bread because it's bread. Who doesn't like bread? For example, I don't have like crazy reactions to like lactose products, but I'll still have like just a noticeable amount, just noticeable enough that I started to eat like lactose-free Greek yogurt or something, right? Like even when I eat kefir, which is a highly fermented dairy product, and it's supposed to have virtually zero lactose, like it's a very slight amount, I still get like some sort of like leaky gut syndrome with that, or whatever you want to call it, just leaky gut. But as soon as I either just don't eat dairy for a week or something, or I switch to lactose-free Greek yogurt, it was like I can tell the difference, right? It's not a big difference where I'm like my energy's destroyed and I feel bad the whole day, but it's just like I prefer to like just feel good the whole day, and so I'm willing to make the change of just getting lactose free, and it's not like a negative change in any sense. And so yeah, like let's say for example, I don't like get like any like particular issues when I'm eating something like nuts, but I just feel bloated, right? I'll be a bit more gassy the next day, and so ideally I wouldn't eat nuts, not because they're bad for my health or anything, but just because I prefer to not be bloated. I prefer to like not be gassy. It's just like it's like a life quality cost, right? If I'm feeling healthier or I feel like perfectly fine and functional the whole day, that's like a cost I'm willing to pay of like whatever, not eating nuts or the specific foods that make me feel a bit worse. But I mean, other than that, it's all negligible, because just the fact that you're avoiding processed food is already gonna like increase your state of well being by like hundreds of folds. But regardless, you still want to like go on like different stages of like elimination diets where you're eliminating different foods and you're reintroducing different foods, and like kind of experimenting on yourself to see how you feel when you eat different foods and how you feel when you cut out certain foods. But I mean, yeah, it is a long game where you just experiment on yourself, but I genuinely enjoy the process of like doing experiments and like changing my diet every few weeks or every week by like just a little bit to see how it changes, right? And even like meal timing, stuff like that. It's just very cool. Like I care a lot about nutrition and health, And so I'm willing to just like, spend my free time to like change up my diets, like have like a theory and a hypothesis, and then testing it and seeing what happens, right? And so it's just pretty cool. It's like my own science experience at home, on my own body, and so yeah, that's pretty much exactly how I went about it to like determine what exact foods I started to include in my diet as like a staple in my diet. But other than that, if you want to learn exactly the full guide on how to lose weight without destroying your health and actually boosting and promoting your health at the same time, then just click the first link in the description. It's my course that teaches you to do exactly that. And hopefully I'll see you there.